This is the Daily Saints Pod with Zach and Greg.
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Saints Pod. My name is Greg, and as always today joined by my good friend and wonderful co-host, Zach. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. It's finally back, in it. Some sort of football that isn't, international. Well,
look, at the time of recording, the sun is shining, the vibes are great at the club, and I can just feel the atmosphere building, ready for tomorrow's game. It's just exciting, isn't it? Meaningful football. Cup quarter-final, 90 minutes away from Wembley. Anything can happen. It feels that way, right? And it's good. We've talked about it all week, right? It's not a game that anyone's coming in with an expectation to win, but that doesn't mean that there's not hope, right?
I don't know. It seems to be, I'm seeing a bit of discourse where people are like, oh, well, no one's expecting us to win, whilst others are going, well, yeah, we should be. So I think, I think there's a growing level of confidence amongst the fan base. And it depends, right? You've alluded to it a few times, whether or not you think that the withdrawal for quote-unquote injury of all players for some reason associated with Arsenal. So that's a weird one, isn't it? What a weird coinky-dink. Apparently, some people are thinking that's obviously for their tie against Atletico Madrid and the Champions League run.
Yeah, actually against Lisbon, because Lisbon beat Madrid. I need to correct myself from yesterday in the path of wrong that I've set you down. But
perfect, thank you. Lisbon, Sporting Lisbon. It means that, that a lot of people's perceptions are they have an eye on that prize. But I also just think they probably just want to win any level of silverware. So I think they'll probably come at us harder than we expect them to, if I'm totally honest. However, if they decide to play the kids and we come out against, the Arsenal youth team with a full-strength squad, I'm not really too bothered either. Swings roundabouts, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Look, I mean, I think the real answer is somewhere in the middle, right? Like some of those injuries were legitimate injuries, right? Like one of them was in a literal leg brace coming off the pitch, right? In the England game. Let's be fair. Players like Declan Rice haven't played in the FA Cup yet this season, and with Lisbon on the horizon, you kind of expect it not to be starting, this to be the first appearance. He will be saving him. But at the end of the day, even a heavily rotated Arsenal squad is worth hundreds of millions of pounds more than our squad.
Yeah, but let's not hang on now, Mr. Gregory. We cannot, week in, week out, talk about how it doesn't really give us much of an advantage. And we get annoyed when people mug us off for having, parachute money and having a squad that's been built up with the significant financial resources of other teams. And, we still lost to Oxford United this season once, right? We've still drawn with Charlton. We've still drawn with Portsmouth. I understand your point. But it is one of those things where, honestly, it's going to depend on who wants it on the day. I feel like at the moment, we still want it more.
I just think it's different spheres, mate. Sure, we are a bigger fish in the Championship, arguably, right? And we have a financial pool in the Championship. But the difference is Arsenal... The reality of things is that whilst Arsenal are in the Premier League and we are in the Championship, if you want to break it down into actual footballing terms, they're probably 2 or 3 leagues above us, right? Because the Premier League isn't actually a league. It's a battle to finish in the top, to finish in the bottom, 14, 15? Because those top clubs that are solidified with their European money and their European-sized squads are solidified there, pretty much. With the odd exception when one of them decides to flounder and do something ridiculous. But, Arsenal are not that, right? And they're they're a very good team, and a very good team who are probably going to win the Premier League this year, right? So I just think it's important to put that context in. It's different. It's different scales, right? Like, sure, we're a massive koi carp in a fish pond, but they're a shark. Like,
you're right, but like I think it's one of those things where it's more of just me trying to make the point that we cannot be that hypocritical when we come to understanding the levels and then be like, oh, well, anyone can beat anyone else, and also just be like, well, we should just get battered by them.
No, I don't think it's hypocrisy, mate. I just think it's realism. I'm not saying that we're going to get battered by them, and I believe that we can beat them, right? I'm just saying that with the context, it's not a game we should expect to get anything from. There's no expectation, right? There's hope and possibility. There's no expectation. And that in itself makes it dangerous for Arsenal, right? Because, you know, despite Tonda saying, oh, I'm not seeing it as a free hit, we're trying to win, that's the point, right? Because it is a free hit. No one's batting an eyelid if we lose 2 or 3-0 to Arsenal, right? It's just...
I don't know, because I think it might... I worry what it would do to the mentality. Because it's like, oh, we can say we're a different squad at this point, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case. If we get hurt mentally by losing 3 or 4-0 at the weekend, and then we all of a sudden go on a run that isn't great, and we finish outside the playoffs, you could probably draw a direct line to this game, right? That's kind of where I'm at.
I just don't think we will. I don't think we're going to get battered, right? I think even if we lose, we're going to lose in a manner that holds respect, right? The fear from me towards this team showing up and playing, Tonda has eradicated it from me. Right? I fully believe in the team, and you know, it's still in the realms of reality where even, you know, as on our incredible run and our incredible run of form, there's no shame putting in a good performance and getting beat by the team that are probably winning the Premier League this season, barring something, you know, drastic on their part.
That's fair.
But getting that out of the way, mate, you're right. We want it more. It's there for the taking. So I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard to try and like rein in my ever enthusiastic optimism. because at the end of the day, it's just 90 minutes, and if we, you know, we do something crazy for 90 minutes, right? Pompey scored first against Arsenal, so there are cracks to be found, right? And I would wager better money on us holding a lead if we get one up than you ever would of Pompey holding on to that, right? So maybe, I don't know. It's a really tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to see, and you know, arguably, like, we know how good they are. I think it's, again, my point wasn't that I don't expect us to go out there, Greg, kick the door in and beat them like 5-0.
No,
it's just one of those things where, like, we can't just be like that. Oh, woe is me, because it'll be
absolutely
a fantastic thing if we do. But yeah, I think it's just it's a big game that we all kind of expected to have, considering that a vast majority of us thought we'd have gone out of the cup a lot earlier, right?
Yeah,
now all of a sudden we're not.
I mean, when you're in the Championship, the cup tends to matter less because of the quantity of games, right? It's not as important. But in our 50th anniversary, we gave it a good go. We did a shaky start, but have pulled it together, got ourselves this far. And you know, a trip to Wembley is not nothing. It's not nothing for the fans who get that day out, regardless of sort of the cost. It's not nothing for the club who get the additional prize money and additional benefit of that day out at Wembley. It's massive, and we're going to be up for it. And yeah, just anything is possible for sure. It's going to be a really fascinating game because there are just so many variables coming into it that we just won't know until like a ball is kicked. And even then, like I said, Pompey scored first against Arsenal. That said, there's a world of possibility where we could score too early for this game, right? Like
and then just
that's
step
a
off
real
a little
thing.
bit because we do that quite badly. And then all of a sudden they get a couple of corners, and that's basically what they want, isn't it? They're going to be playing set pieces, and we know we've struggled with set pieces for literally ever.
Yeah,
So
that's one of
the
their
only
big selling points. They'll have, even if they're rotated, they've got big, solid defenders who will be up for those set pieces, and that's what they'll be working. I mean, to put the perspective on it, right? Their keeper came under criticism in the Carabao Cup final, Kepa, right? And he's awful, rubbish keeper. He's still like an international level quality goalkeeper.
Yeah,
right?
played for Chelsea. He went on loan. Was he on loan at Bournemouth the season we were in the Premier League last season?
Yeah,
if I remember rightly. So yeah, no, I get that. I think that was more of a him playing cup finals, right? Because I think a lot of people remember Chelsea when he refused to be subbed off and then let a load of goals go past him. But you're right. I don't. There's no. You shouldn't underestimate them as such. And I think that they're still out a very, very strong squad, and in comparison, and it's just going to be. We've just got to hope that the current form and current desire from the team is able to maybe take them by surprise a little bit, especially if they are not as interested as we are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. It's potentially there for the taking. We showed ourselves against Fulham that we can adjust the way we play to hopefully deal with these scenarios. Now, obviously, Fulham, Arsenal, even same league, different kettle of fish, right? But there's hope and belief.
Yeah, that's true.
Despite it'd still be an underdog story, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling good about it, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. It's going to be good.
Nice.
Right, mate. Let's get into our predicted lineups and what you think Tonda will do to change it up and change the style. Obviously, Matsky and Flynn Downs both unavailable due to suspension for this because they changed the way suspensions in cup games work this year to something really dumb, in my opinion, allegedly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, 2 bookings in the previous rounds each means that they miss a game. But if they'd have got booked in this game, they wouldn't have missed the next game. So, I don't know.
Silly, but whatever.
Look, I mean, that is the 2 players who have been one of the first names on the sheet in the sort of current setup we've been going with. But actually, I think for me, outside the context of this game, that's 2 proper first team players who are guaranteed to be fresh for Tuesday's also quite big game against Wrexham. Right?
Yeah, that is the positive from it, is that you know that there'll probably be 2 players that are starting. I don't know if you've seen Cam Bragg's got an interview out. He's trying to kind of stake his place to play in this game as well. So, I think
I'd be fine with that. All right, look, let's start with the structure we tend to go with. Peretz in goal is a no-brainer, no discussion point anymore. Thank you. Thank you,
Peretz, for no longer making this discussion until inevitably the goalkeeper drama of the summer unfolds, where we try to figure out what we're doing with our 6, maybe 7 or 8 goalkeepers we end up having.
And we end up having to sell Ramsdale, not managing to sign Peretz on time, and somehow end up in the Premier League with Alex McCarthy as our first choice goalkeeper.
Mate, come on now. If we're in the Premier League, we'll get Peretz. It's fine.
Right back, James Bree, presumably. Yeah.
Hard discussion. That is. Not Gillette.
Even if it was a position that we had great amount of depth in, the quality and improvement that Bree's brought to the team is it's hard to understate, right?
Enjoys the cup goal. Would love to see a recreation of Cuca Martinez goal. There you go.
Oh, yeah. That would be good.
Crack it in from the halfway line accidentally. I'd be fine with that.
And then centre backs. I mean, assuming that Stevens is fit after open training,
Yep.
Stevens, Howard, Bellis.
Yep,
makes
sense.
We're
to me.
going to be going. We're going to be going full strength, right? Is the consensus?
Yes, 100%.
Left back.
I think it'll probably still be
training in open training. Do you think he
is back? I don't know if this would be the game to shove him straight back into. I think he might come on as a sub later on, but I think Manning will probably get the start, especially with Manning having gone away of Ireland, played, still been match fit, not too overly strained, right? So yeah, I would say it would be Manning at left back, but
yeah. I think it's you're right. It would be a tough game for Wellington to start in as his first game back, but then maybe that's the sort of challenge that he would step up to the plate too and enjoy. I don't know. And then, of course, right, with Flynn Downs out, the middle of the park becomes a discussion point, right? Because he's been the constant with a rotating cast of Bragg and Shea Charles and Yander playing alongside him sort of at various points.
Yeah.
So what combination do we think in that role? I'd like to think Shea Charles is the first choice out of those three.
Shea for sure. And then potentially maybe you give Bragg the start if he's proper up for it and he's coming out doing press about it. I think, trying to get if you're that up for the game, sometimes obviously it could be a bit too much pressure. But I think that, potentially you could have him on for 45 and Yander on for 45, and I wouldn't really be too bothered. We know that Yander's been, I say up and down, not really even up and down. He was so up for so long that it makes it look like if he's not playing at that level, it's down. When reality, I don't think I'd be fussed by who goes in that space, right? I think Shea Charles is guaranteed starter. I think then it's a question mark between potentially Bragg and Yander. I don't think Romelu gets the nod, despite the fact that he was the last player that played in that match with starting against Arsenal in the FA Cup. So it's like,
do you think there's a world where if we pull off the miraculous and in the 75th or 80th minute are 1-0 up, we see Romelu come on to kind of have that level-headed experience that he's been brought in for?
Not really, because I think that experience clearly is being shown elsewhere than actually on the pitch. I wouldn't be against it unless, of course, it results in a defensive error that results in a goal. And I think that he himself would probably say, if he is up for it and thinks that he can do it, and we think that he's at a level of fitness now, then yeah, sure. But I would really want to do everything we possibly can at that point. And again, the issue you'd have at that point anyway is if we start defending frantically and give them as many set pieces as we want, it ain't going to be 1-0 for long, realistically.
That's their strength and that's what they're going to want to attack.
So that's what we need to be I don't know. Like, maybe we'd see him. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where I could also see maybe him starting and us going, what the heck? And then it being another Tonda pulled it off. Maybe we aren't football managers and we don't work with these players day in, day out.
Yeah.
And don't know their strengths and weaknesses and what they could bring to the table, potentially. So, yeah. But I think that either way, any selection in the middle of the park, I'll probably be happy with.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Look, despite, obviously, Romelu's struggle to get back to fitness or into form with us because, he is getting on in footballing terms, at least. He is a top player who's played on top occasions for top teams.
Yeah.
And we've talked about the mental edge and, how sometimes that small percentage of gain is enough. And for a big occasion, I wouldn't bat an eyelid if he was in the starting lineup.
Well, let's not forget the fact that he's the pedigree of Chelsea, Barcelona. Like, these are all teams that he has played for. And so, maybe it's slightly disrespectful for me to be like, oh... But again, it's just based on what I've seen so far. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know, that might be one of the secret weapons they've got planned. Again, I could see there is not a 0% chance of a scenario where he is in the starting eye lineup. Both me and you go, what's going on here then? And then, like that's how I first felt when they put Matchday out on the right. I was like, that's never really a position he's played in. And we're sure he's going to be okay. And now I'm like, oh, we got to deal with Fellows there, and that is such a strange place to be in, because that's not. It. So yeah, like I don't know. I think that I have confidence in anybody that is put there. Realistically, I think that if he is put there, we won't see him for more than 45 minutes either way.
No, I agree.
Whether it's at the start or at the end.
I know that in the last FA Cup game, of course, we saw him play alongside Cam Bragg, so I don't know if there's something to read from that or not. Obviously, we'll wait and see. But you're right. Whatever happens in that position, Tonda has bought enough trust to, even if the team sheet pulls a raised eyebrow, it's probably all right. Have belief. He's earned that, I should say, rather than bought. He is. He's got that in the bank. Right, moving slightly more up the pitch. Presumably Azaz in the number 10 position.
Yeah.
Pivotal to the way, whatever of the style we play.
Yeah.
Seems to be kind of the main focal point of a lot of Tonda's systems and tactics, right?
I could see a scenario where he goes off after a bit and they push Shea Charles off and maybe bring Yander on. Like, that's also a thing that I could see happen. But yeah, at the moment he is the focal point. You just got to hope that he's going to have the energy levels and the confidence after Ireland's exit to just come straight back into the team and show us that he's up for it. And if he does that, happy days. But yeah, I imagine he'll be starting.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know obviously we talked in the international show yesterday about like the potential mental knock from being not in sort of in the World Cup and how that may or may not affect. But I don't know, man. If you can't get yourself motivated for an FA Cup quarter-final against a massive team like Arsenal, what are we doing here?
Well, yes. To be fair, is one of the reasons that he left Middlesbrough to join us, because he wanted to go to the Premier League. We are playing like one of the biggest Premier League clubs in the world as of at the moment. I don't know if it's going to last forever. Depends on how well they do come into the season. But you're right. I guess that's the flip side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, left and right. What are we thinking?
Fellows
Matchday out. So Fellows.
Yeah. Who else are you going to put there?
I don't know.
Unless they do like the weird thing where like they put a Dozy over there at one point, and I just think just felt odd. It's like no, thank you.
A bit. Leo obviously not in open training on Monday, but was back in training in the socials,
specifically being put in the social media. So maybe you were right, and I don't like that because that seems insane. But yeah, I feel like if he's training now and he's back on the pitch, then clearly that injury must be at a point where it's healed up. Is it that they've put him on light training to get him up to the point where he's ready to play? Who knows? I don't think he's going to want to miss out more than anything else. Like, I think it would be detrimental to him to not
get the nod. Do you think that means he starts, though? Or do you think that means he comes on off the bench as that kind of...
I think he would start because of the simple fact that he is able to bring that energy straight up, right? And we're going to want to kind of, if you want to win this game in a good way, you don't want it to languish for the first 45 minutes and then end up 0-0 and then hope to bring somebody on. You want to be able to like shell shock them, right? You need to do, what we've done against Coventry and things like that. We need to suddenly make them go, oh no. Yeah. And I think the first 45 minutes with Leo will do that. And I also think that, a Dozy at any point could be a good substitute, right? Like, whether it's at the first 45 minutes or not, I think that he brings something slightly different and something slightly exciting still. So, and so it's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, great. Yeah, look, I think I'm happy with either Dozy or Leo. I think you're right. They're both slightly different players that are both dangerous in their own ways. I think any combination of either of them coming off the bench is going to be a positive lift. And in the same way that either of them starting is good.
Well, yeah, for all you know, the reason they're showing the pictures of Leo in training is so they prepare for Leo and then they have a Dozy to deal with at the beginning. Or we do something completely different and go like a front four again for whatever reason. And I don't know. This is the fun part of predicting Tonda is that he changes
that's the
and
joy
adapts.
Of Tonda.
adapts to the games that he's playing, which occasionally means things look really weird to us laymen, and then all of a sudden it plays off, which is
it makes
that's
sense.
all we
You
ever ask
see it on
for.
the pitch and go, oh, yeah.
All we ever asked
for
ever
where
managed.
you can like change formation and style of play to beat the opponent that's in front of you. What a wild concept!
As opposed to playing the exact same way and just be like, "Come on, Ryan Fraser, get on, score a goal."
Yes. And then up front, mate. I don't know. I think of the two, I personally prefer Larin, but obviously he was
Larin, if he's back and fit,
out in America pretty late night. It was like midnight Wednesday morning, right? Kickoff. So is he going to be back and fresh enough to start? I don't know. I mean, even Ross Stewart, to be fair, I feel good about starting him up front. So it's a nice position at least.
Yeah, we just got to make sure we got to think about the games that come after as well. So maybe Ross Stewart gets. I know now. I know, Greg, that we're aware of the fact that we have like a big target man up front now, but neither of us said Archer. Do you reckon he gets involved at all? Do you reckon he maybe comes on for Azaz at some point?
Not in this game.
He scored against Arsenal like last time round. You can remember that.
Yeah,
he's a goal against them. Clearly, I'm noticing every single part of your brain being like, no, but you don't want to say that. So I'll say it for you.
Look, I have absolutely no problem and no issue with big guy up front isn't working for us. Let's change it up and play Cameron Archer in the way that he wants to play.
But not kicking balls to him like he's still big guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have no problem with it at all. If that's what we see, I just don't think it's the one. Not this game. It's not. I don't think it comes off. Look, I will be as happy as anyone if he comes on and bangs in a goal and fair play. And Tonda, is crazy enough that if Cameron Archer was named in the starting 11, I'm fully in, right? I believe in the system. I fully believe. But yeah, I don't think this is the game where that comes off, personally.
Okay. That's fair. That's pretty much it, mate, isn't it? Right?
Like, that's exciting. That's the whole 11. I'm expecting a strong lineup, strong push. We're going to take it seriously and hope that we can catch Arsenal off guard. And like you say, like we did against Coventry, the aim is going to be to disrupt and displace and not make it easy. And it's an 8:00 game on a Saturday. We've had to expand the away fans because it's FA Cup, so they get 4,000 instead of like the normal bit. Mm-hmm. So the atmosphere is going to be good because it's going to up the atmosphere for the home fans too. And it's 8:00 on a Saturday, so there's going to be beer involved for plenty of the day. It's just it's the sort of combustible atmosphere and game that has all of the magic of the FA Cup left in it as its potential. It also has the full capability to fizzle out into absolute nothing, right? And
Agreed.
Completely overstate our estimation of what we were hoping for. But yeah, it's exciting times. You wanna pay any credence to historic stats or games, mate?
If you want to, mate, that's fine. Sure. Again, there's like what Romelu and Stevens the last time.
Most importantly, right? Last time we played Arsenal in the FA Cup, we won.
Right, there you go. That is the most important.
2023, we beat 1-0 at St Mary's. So, wasn't that long ago. Could happen. Other head-to-heads, though, of 28 matches in the data set, 7 wins for Saints, 8 draws, and 13 for Arsenal. So not as bad as the reading could be, really. Some good results for us in that mix. Obviously, we had that 3-3 draw with them, not in the last relegation season, but in the first relegation season that was a bit nuts, right? They didn't beat us at all that season, which which in itself was an interesting point of note, right? Because it wasn't great. But yeah, obviously the AI predicts an Arsenal win, right? It does say that Southampton's home edge keeps this closer than the odds suggest. Expect a lively second half and a rash of corners. So yeah, suggesting the bet to be Arsenal to win and over 13 corners. Which is a new
Interesting.
one. That's 2.5 goals at least. It's changing it up, keeping it fresh.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. It's nice that this computer can do something slightly better.
What about you, though, mate? What do you think is going to happen?
2-0. 2-0 Saints.
Yeah?
Yeah.
2-0 Saints?
Yeah.
What? Hang on. Sorry, I heard it, and then it registered. I'm loving the confidence, mate. How do you see the story of the game going?
I just think if they're supposedly as injury ravaged as they say they are, and they want to concentrate on the Champions League, they'll put out a slightly weaker team, a team that hasn't got the drive and the togetherness that we do, right? We saw that kind of with Fulham, where if you put a bunch of players that haven't played together for a while, it's always a bit shaky. And, I think we're going to go out there with the, backing of the home fans and go out to win. And we're just going to score 2 goals really early, and then we're just going to sharp shop and keep them out. And then they're just going to, that's just the vibe I've got, mate. I don't know what to tell you. I might be horrifically wrong. I'm probably horrifically wrong.
You want the least comfortable game of football any
Saints
fans ever.
Saints game, mate. What, you think we're going to score a goal 25 minutes in, and then 85 minutes in? You think that's going to work out like that for you? That's not how a Saints games work, mate. We're going to score 2 early on, and then we're going to defend for our lives for 80 minutes. You're going to hate every minute of it, and then it's going to be so much sweeter. And then you're going to have to figure out how to pay for 3 trips to Wembley. Just how it's going to be.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
I know you will. It's fine.
Where are those goals coming from, mate? Who's scoring?
One of them's going to be a Taylor Harwood-Bellis header. Because they're not going to be prepared for our set pieces.
Beating Arsenal at their own game. Okay.
Yeah. And if Leo's back, one of them will be Leo Cienza.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I love it. I love that.
There you go. Now, can't wait for all of that to be wrong.
Caught me completely off guard. Wow.
You didn't think I actually enjoyed watching Saints anymore, did you?
No, wait. It shows what a good run of form can do to go to your head.
After predicting losses for almost a year straight, mate.
Yeah. Wild. That's great. All right. I'm going to switch it over to me. My prediction is going to surprise you, mate, I think. 1-0 Saints.
1-0 Saints. That's fair.
Yeah. 93rd minute, James Bree.
Right. And it's going to be like the Cuca Martina halfway, starts running up, boots it.
Uncomfortable for completely different reasons, right? Also an uncomfortable watch, but with hope throughout.
Mm-hmm.
Look, whatever team Arsenal are going to put out, they are going to come and play football and not sit back and defend. And that, arguably, despite the golfing quality and potential quality, plays into exactly how we like to play football. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I don't think it's going to be like a 0-0 where both teams have been completely shut out. I think that both teams will have chances, but it'll be 0-0, and then up steps James Bree, loves a cup goal. Bang, job done.
That's a lot of pressure on that man, but it's what it is.
Yeah, look,
you can see it. You can see it too.
I see it happening, mate. Anything's possible. That's the crazy thing about football, and that's why we love it.
True.
I did not see us both predicting Saints wins from this point.
Neither did I. Actually, I always know that you're going to predict the win.
Yeah.
I didn't see myself predicting one until I started weaving the tapestry in my mind.
Even worse than that, there's part of me that genuinely believes it could be 0-0 and penalties, and I just don't know if I'd back
Oh, no, we're not going to discuss that. No. I can't, I'm not.
I'm not emotionally ready.
No. then it will break our hearts even more if Perez goes, like when he inevitably saves them all, and then we go to Wembley that way.
I love it. So good.
It's like you've broken my spirit in a different way.
So good.
Turns out just joining in on the delusions is far more enjoyable.
It is. It's why we love it. But look, that's it. That's all we've got time for. We are heading into a long bank holiday weekend with one thing on our mind. I know that the atmosphere is going to be rocking. I know that the game is going to be good, I hope. I think it's going to be a good game, even if the result doesn't go our way. That's the real prediction from it all. Nice. I think that we're still going to be buzzing come Sunday. And the joy of it is, mate, we get to come back and speak about it whenever happens. And that's it. That's the joy of it. So thank you, everyone, for listening. And thank you, Zach, for joining me. Let us know in the comments on the socials what you think the score is going to be. However outrageous, however outlandish, as you can tell, we are fully here for it. Hit us up, let us know. Daily Saints Pod, everywhere. X, Blue Sky, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Let us know. I cannot wait to see all of the score predictions. Like I say, we'll be back after the game to talk about it. But until then, have a great long weekend, everyone. Happy Easter. But most importantly, come on, you Saints.
See you on the other side. This is the Daily Saints Pod with Zach and Greg.